Tales from the innkeeper.
Oh, welcome, valid guest. Glad to see you're still staying in here, even though we recently got raided by the police. They did find their suspect, but alas, he's dead. After so much destruction caused by the police, we had to undergo some major reconstruction and renovation. We even have a brand new kid's room, which hosts a Xbox 360.
I'm the funniest jokester, McJokesty. Everyone finds it funny. Funny. Speaking of funny, I have a funny tale for you called Heart of the Elders, Part 2.
We'll be continuing our Forgotten Age campaign on standard difficulty using Carolyn Fern solo. Because this is the second part of a scenario, we don't get to upgrade our decks in between, and therefore we'll be continuing using the same deck that we used for Heart of the Elders Part 1.
You descend down miles of steep cold stone. The tunnels are chokingly narrow at first, filled with rubble and detritus. Finally, you reach level ground, and the cavern's true nature reveals itself before you. It is as though there were an entire world below the surface. The cavern ceiling is like a stone curtain of sky above you. Even more vast and terrifying are the endless depths below you, beyond the edges of stone chasms and archaic bridges. On all sides, this underground realm seems to extend beyond the boundary of your sight. You wonder just how far it reaches. Perhaps the entirety of the known surface of the earth is but the top layer of another world. The Lonely Caverns. Though much of this cavern system is natural and untouched by humans, you are stunned to find signs of an ancient civilization that once inhabited the area. Cavern of the Forgotten Age. The vast underground caverns of Kinyan are cold and all too quiet. Scattered, forsaken ruins lie undisturbed along your path to the nexus of Unkai. What happened in this ancient and forgotten place? Were these ruins once occupied by humans? Or by a species far, far older?
Alright, part 2 of the Heart of the Elders. This one is not too bad, although I think the Harbinger of Velusia does make an appearance here, and that creature can always swing a scenario one way or another, because how difficult it is. If you don't hit it, it can retaliate. If you don't evade it, it has alert, so it'll hit you no matter what you do, and it hits hard. So that's really the only variable here. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. I believe this one is not hard at all. I would put it on the easier side of the spectrum for sure. Anyways, my goal here is just to try and get through it. I am not looking for any specific amount of victory points, although I believe in this one it's kind of inevitable, where you'll gain some victory and some vengeance. But I'm just trying to finish it as quickly as possible. So far no cards to help me in combat. That's not good. Although I do like having Peter Silvestri early on. It's a hand of good cards, but this is a fallacy. If you keep a hand of great cards like this that are all good in specific circumstances, but not going to help you initially in a fight or anything, then it might be a bad idea to keep the same opening hand. So we'll try and get our will up high by keeping Silvestri and Holy Rosary and hope for a spell. And doesn't look like we got one. That's not the greatest of starting hands, but at least Peter Silvestri will help us get an extra point in agility to help us evade and willpower. So if we do draw a spell early on, he will definitely help quite a bit there in that department. And the horror healing will grant us extra resources. I'm not too worried about taking horror, but the resources can come in handy. So our starting location is the mouth of Kinyan. 2 shroud, 1 clue. you can use a map to look at the top 2 cards of the exploration deck. This is something that I've made mistakes on before, because on most of the campaign you can look at the top 3 and put 1 on the bottom. In this case, you look at the top 2, and you can discard any treacheries that are revealed, and then you have to reshuffle the deck every time you use it. So it works a lot different. Anyways, let's go ahead and put Peter Silvestri down before anything else, so at least we have a little bit of horror soak and a boosted agility and willpower. If I had had a weapon or a spell early on, that would be the first thing I would be playing without question. But I don't, so it is what it is. And Holy Rosary will put that down as well. I'm hoping to draw a spell in the next round or 2, so that at least I can hold my own in combat. So we'll go ahead and let's explore, or not explore, use our map. 2 cards, and it looks like 1 treachery, so we discard that. This one gets reshuffled back into the deck. It is handy to discard the treacheries. It is not handy that, you have to reshuffle it every time, but it's not a tremendous deal. I'd rather discard the treacheries, I think. So we'll put our first Doom on the agenda and draw our encounter card, and it is Snake Scourge. Not bad at all. I'm not poisoned, so it doesn't gain Surge. Goes into my 3rd area. That means that Holy Rosary is now blank. Not a tremendous deal. I don't care. It goes away at the end of the round. Let's go ahead and try and get this clue. So we will use Unexpected Courage. You know what? No. Let's just run it straight, because we have a 4 versus a 2. It's a pretty good odds. So 4 versus 2. And let's see. Oh god, it is a Elder Thing. Elder Thing is a -3, and we do end up taking a horror because we failed. We'll put it on Peter. That'll get us a resource at the end of the round. Not bad. We didn't get our clue, but that did help us quite a bit. So we'll try again, 4 versus 2. And, again an Elder Thing. I did shuffle the chips in there. Well, that's unfortunate. Another horror, and we fail. So, I wanted to grab the clue and then start moving on, because I don't want to get stuck here. But we'll go ahead and use our map. Okay, so it looks like another treachery gets discarded. Hey, we got rid of 2 treacheries. That's not bad at all. That's certainly helpful. I think we're just going to start exploring next round and try to move forward. I don't want to be stuck here with an enemy with nowhere else to go. That can be a disaster. I think we're going to try and get the clue just a couple more times. If not, we're going to have to move on. It's not a victory location. There's other locations with clues on them. We do have to get moving. And at least opening up more locations will help us move around if we get caught up with an enemy. And final mistake. Okay, test 2 agility, not our forte at all. Luckily, Peter Silvestri gives us a +1, so we're at a 3 versus a 2. I will commit an Unexpected Courage to give us a 5, so it's going to be a 5 versus 2. And shake this bag up so we can get some variance here. No more. Oh, it's a skull. That gives us a -1 or -3 in a cave location. We are in a cave location, so we actually succeeded, even with the -3. So for a second, I thought it was an auto-fail. All right, so let's do this. 4 versus 2. Come on. I can't believe how hard it's been to grab this clue. It really shouldn't be this hard. Oh my god, an auto-fail. Wow. Beautiful looking token, but it's just horrendous what it does to you. They really don't want us to grab this clue. Let's try it. Let's go at it one last time. Then we'll have to do a different strategy. So let's do it. 4 versus 2. And oh my god, an Elder Thing yet again. That's ridiculous. Holy moly. We just can't seem to get this clue. Let's do the map thing and All right, 2 locations. That's good enough. I think this is my last time using the map. We're going to have to start exploring and move on because we've wasted enough time here. I mean, this is going on round 4 now, I think, so... And I feel like we haven't got anything done. We need to keep moving. Okay, no stone unturned will come in very handy, I think. So, that's not bad. I'm glad I pulled that card. Doom on the agenda. And let's draw our next card. No enemy. Oh, now we really have to get out of this location. Poisonous spores. I do not want to get poisoned. Let's go ahead and try and explore or investigate one last time. It's 6 versus 2. So, come on. It's a -5. I can't believe it. Nothing we do. We just can't grab this clue. I can't risk it. I can't risk it anymore. We're just going to have to explore and try to get out of here. Otherwise, we're going to be poisoned if we end our turn here. So let's do this. Explore. Oh, it's treachery. Oh my god. Well, that's not what we were looking for. Darn it. With this one, we can't move. So we have to use... we have to use an action to get rid of it. If we have a pickaxe, we do have a pickaxe, so we can just get rid of it. So let's get rid of it. Let's go ahead and explore again. Come on. Oh, that's good. Thank goodness. Oh man, that was close. So, Perilous Gulch, 4 shroud, 1 clue. Oh, that's pretty high shroud. If you fail a skill test while investigating, we would have to place a doom on the location if we don't have rope, which we don't have. So I'm going to make sure to commit enough cards to ensure success in this one because I don't want doom on this location. And I do have to get this clue because we missed the clue on the last location, and I really don't want to have to go back and grab that one because it's going to be very action intensive to move there, grab the clue, and move back just for 1 clue. So I'd rather just keep moving onward. So, oh, cool. All right. Ichitaka's going to come in very handy here. Yeah. And now we have enough resources to kind of do a lot of stuff. So that's going to be helpful. And looks like we pull Final Mistake. We got to test our agility or take 2 damage. So, what do we have? We don't really have anything to commit to that test. We'll just have to take it the way it is and hope to not get 2 damage. Did I commit her? She'll give me 2. I don't think so. I'd rather keep her in the back just in case Peter dies. I'd rather have Ichitaka to put down for some damage soak if necessary, and she'll also help with combat. Yeah, I think it'd be a bad idea to commit her. Maybe I'll just let Pete die if I fail. Let's do it. 3 versus 2. If we fail, Pete will die, and then we can play Ichitaka on our turn. No big deal. Oh, that's an auto fail. Well, we thought it would happen, that we were going to fail anyway. So we take 2 damage. We'll just have to assign 1 to Pete and 1 to us. He's dead. So we're going to have to play Ichitaka now. She gives us a very nice damage soak and bonuses to evade and fight. So I'm okay with that. Pete served his purpose, and that's perfectly fine. Alright. So I think first things first, we need to lay her, or we need to place her down. So 4 resources. She's a little pricey, but we most definitely can afford it. So 4 resources, and Ichitaka +1 combat, +1 agility, +2 when fighting an enemy with victory, and +2 agility when fighting an enemy with vengeance. And she also heals horror, so actually she's really, really good in a Carolyn deck for this campaign. Alright, so next thing, I think we're going to have to search our deck for some combat cards, or at least a card to help me investigate better. So let's go ahead and play No Stone Unturned. This will let us look at our top 6 cards and pick something that's going to benefit us. Oh, yes. Flashlight seems very handy. Oh, look at these weaknesses. Okay. 3 weaknesses. Wow. 3 weaknesses were coming up. That's crazy. I'm so glad I pulled this card and played it. Here's my thought process. I think I'm going to pick the Flashlight, because it's between that and Shriveling. Ichitaka will already help us a little bit with combat, and she will not help us with Shriveling. So, more important than anything, we've been stuck at this location already for several rounds, or, the opening location. So we need to keep moving forward, and the Flashlight's definitely going to help us do that. So, should we need to evade, Ichitaka's got our back. So let's go ahead and play this. That costs 0. This will also help us in combat in a sticky situation. Might as well, and when we get well prepared, it'll really help us get additional bonuses. So that's that. Let's hope we don't pull an enemy right now, but if we do, I'm not too concerned just yet. Yes, look at this. The Ancient Stone, one of my favorite new cards from the Forgotten Age. Probably my favorite card. That and Mists of Rillia. Oops. Okay, good. It's not an enemy. Curse of Yig, annoying, but nothing crazy. I'll take it. Let's keep moving. Alright, so we have a choice here. Do we play... Yeah, I think we're going to play the Flashlight, because as much as the other one can help us play the Flashlight more quickly, we do need to keep moving. So we'll play the Flashlight and try and nab this clue from this location. Bringing the Shroud down to 2 is really going to help. So we're going to go at it 4 versus 2 and straight 4 versus 2. And come on, failed enough times already. -2, number needed. Perfect. All right, so we nabbed that clue. We don't fail, so there's no doom. And we can start moving forward. Perfect. We got 2 treacheries out of the deck. 3 treacheries, sorry, out of the Explore deck. So I think our odds of pulling a favorable location are pretty good. But let's get rid of this first. So 3 versus 2. I already have some damage, so I want to get rid of it so it doesn't present a problem later. Actually, no. Let's not go 3 versus 2. That's too tight. So let's commit something. I don't want to be dropping clues, so as much as I like this card, we can commit it. 4 versus 2. Oh, and the Holy Rosary, so 5 versus 2. So pretty decent odds here. And I have two Forewarned in my hand. So that's a Cultist, which is a -2. And we succeed, so we don't get to place a Doom on the location. This goes away. This goes away. That Serpentine trait, still don't know what it does, but the -1 to health can creep up on you. And -1 combat, I can't afford to have that right now. So I did want to get rid of that quickly, in case I get surrounded by enemies. Alright. Let's go ahead and explore, and it is a connecting location. So it's the Crystal Pillars, 1 Shroud, 2 clues, test 1 willpower. There's no vengeance, so it's just a test of 1 willpower when we move in. That's not terribly bad. We move in, and 4 versus 1. Should be a straight shot here. And that's a skull, which is a -3. So that's the number needed. We succeed, and now we're here. We got 2 clues on here. That's good, because if we clear these 2 clues, then that means we get to advance the act. So we'll be moving things forward pretty quickly here once we clear out this location. And the shroud value is not that high, so I have a good feeling about this one. Now let's... nice! Good! That's what we needed, a weapon. And with Ichitaka there, that is the right weapon instead of having a spell. But our encounter... Oh! Ancestral Fear, and it has Surge. Shoot. I don't want to place a Doom, so let's just put it in the victory display. If I place... Well, actually, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think if we just put in the victory display, the vengeance point is not going to kill us, and we have none yet for this scenario, so we'll just do that. We'll place it in the victory display and get a vengeance against us. Not a big deal. I'd rather that than a creature right now anyway, so that's fine. Now, I do want to get the stone, the ancient stone out, because that's really going to start helping us gain resources to play everything else. And I don't have enough to play Machete, so let's gain a resource, and then we'll play our ancient stone. This will help us gain resources much more quickly and play everything else. I mean, I think this is a very important card to play right now. We'll put our 5 resources on it, and or 5 secrets on it. We need to advance this axe, so let's 4 versus 1 and try and get these clues quickly. A skull, that's a -3, so that's good enough. Get that clue. All right, and that ends our turn. We need to start moving here. Draw a card, and oh, look at that! It's another physical training. We get a resource, and now we'll gain a resource for the round. So we're at 2 resources, and I just have a feeling we're gonna pull a enemy here. The agenda advances, and now we were going to be in trouble because we're going to be surrounded, I think.
From the entrance, far behind you, a threatening hiss and an all too familiar rattling causes you to freeze in terror. You grip the nearest weapon you can find and turn in fright, hands trembling. How has it followed you this far? When will this awful hunt end? Bright yellow eyes peer at you from all sides as you continue delving deeper into the cavern. The glowing orbs vanish as light is cast on them, reappearing as soon as the darkness returns.
Oh boy. So we have the Harbinger of Velusia coming at us again. This thing is very scary. Luckily we have Ichitaka with us, but still, it has Alert and Retaliate, and it hits hard. So let me just go get card. Okay, here we go. And it is in our threat area because we have Yig's Fury more than the threshold for Yig's Fury, so it doesn't start at the entrance, it starts engaged in our location. Still have to pull an encounter card, which with my luck it'll probably be another enemy. So not looking forward to seeing what's here, but well, now this could be the end of us for this scenario. Because this all can take us out in one round. Between this and if we get another enemy, between the Retaliate, the Alert, and then at their attack, their normal attack at the end of the round, definitely could kill us in one round. So we're gonna have to figure out what to do here. Evading is a good strategy, but the Harbinger is almost dead. It's got 8 damage on it. Evading seems like probably the best chance, although oh, look at that, it's entombed. Definitely not what I want right now. I mean, second worst card. Worst card would be an enemy. So we're going to play Forewarned. to cancel this out. As much as I'd hate to lose a clue right now, I can afford to because I can just pick it back up using the flashlight. So cancel that out. Entombed is the second worst card other than enemy, but at least it's just a Harbinger right now. We can handle that by ourselves. So let's commit physical training for 2 combat icons. We'll boost it with 2 resources, making our combat high enough with Ichitaka's help. Yeah, so 7 versus 3. I was going to evade, but I think this is our best chance of hitting. So let's see. Cultist, that's a -2. We do hit it. It's not Ichitaka. Harbinger takes 1 more damage. It's at 8 damage now. We've almost killed this thing. So now we're going to evade it. We get a bonus because of Ichitaka, so +2. So 4 versus 3. Now this is a harder check. This is most definitely a harder check. And I have nothing to help. 4 versus 3. Alright. We're just going to have to roll with it and hope that we don't die here. If we fail, it's going to hit us. So, -2. That's not good enough. So it's got alert, so it hits us for 2 damage, 2 horror. We can afford 1 hit, but 1 more hit, and I think we're done for this round, or we're done for a period for this game. This could be the end of our session. But I have nothing else that I can do. I think we're just going to have to try and 4 versus 3. Come on. 0! What? Wow, that is a lucky pull, I must say. It's evaded. It gets resource and it goes away. So, thinking back, I should have just punched it to do 1 more damage and leave it at 1, but I wasn't thinking straight because I thought I was going to lose there. Oh, look at this. Now we get this here, huh? So, Mr. Relay will come in handy, but I wish we would have had it just a moment ago. Avoided taking another hit from the Harbinger. But at least we have it now. That's fine. So, now we're going to have to start picking up clues quickly. So, we added Doom. We have a 13 Doom threshold. So, we have 12 more rounds. Oh, look at this. Ancestral Fear. It's going to go in the victory display. I don't care at this point. Victory display. I need all the rounds I can get. I feel like I've fallen way behind here. So, but at the same time, we have to be able to avoid enemies or deal with enemies. So, let's do this. We're going to play Mr. Relay. That way, if we pull an enemy, which I think we should pull very soon because we haven't pulled one, that way we can avoid enemies or evade enemies. And now we're just going to pick up clues after this. So 4 versus 1. And -2. Okay, so we grab 1 clue and we're going to just pull, try to pick up that last clue from there so we can advance the act. 4 versus 1. And shake this up a bit because we didn't shake it up. So 0. Look at that. So we grab that last clue. We get to move the act. And let's kick this into high gear here. Move the act up and act advances. Here we go.
With very few landmarks to spot along the dark and lonely tunnels, you must rely on your wits and navigation skills to make your way forward without getting lost. If only you had an easy way to mark the places you have already visited. The deeper you descend into the cold darkness, the more you feel like crushing weight of the world above and the dizzying reality of the world further below. you suddenly long for the surface and wonder if you'll ever see the sky again.
Alright, so luckily we have chalk, which means that we don't have any ill effects. We don't have to put a clue on every location. We can just continue our exploration. We shuffle the location we need to be at, the Steps of Yoth, and we can just start exploring until we get there. And if there's no clues, then we finish the scenario. So actually, it feels like we are now ahead of the game thanks to the chalk. So let's explore. And look at that. The Depths of Yoth, or Descent to Yoth. The card we needed. After Descent to Yoth enters play, place 1 Doom or draw the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. After you successfully investigate. Okay. So we could place a Doom and then flip it. Or we can draw 2 encounter cards and be done with it. Okay, this is a conundrum here. I like having the choice, but I'm trying to think of what the best course of action here is going to be. Let's, if there's no clues, we can advance. So once it flips, it goes to a clue, and then we have to investigate it to get the clue. So if we pull 2 encounter cards, we won't need to move anything. So we will put the Doom. Oh, it's just 1 Doom. We'll put a Doom on there. We investigate it, flips to a clue. We investigate it again, and it'll... Yep, that's the best course of action. Because encounter cards, if it's 2 enemies, we're in trouble. So that, I think, is what we're going to end up doing here. And let's draw our encounter card, and then we'll just have to investigate. Ooh, my favorite of all time, the Fang of Yig. I don't know why I find these guys so annoying. Okay. I'm not poisoned, so I can commit cards. Not that I have any to commit anyways. Well, the machete. I may just take the hits. So we'll use a flashlight to investigate. 4 versus 1. He hits us with a attack of opportunity. I think between attack and I, we can tank him. So let's take a horror and a damage. As long as we succeed both tries here, we can just ignore his attacks and tank him. And it's a skull, so that's a -3. That is good enough. So this flips. Clue goes on there. So now all we have to do is investigate again and grab this clue. We could take another hit. So flashlight. Here we go. 4 versus 1. He hits us again. 1 damage. 1 horror. If we succeed here, we win. If we fail, we're in a bit of trouble. A tablet. What is that? It's a -3. If you fail, you take a horror. Okay, we get it. So we get it. We're here. No clues, and we get to advance. Awesome. Look at that. And just like that, we caught up and won.
To Yoth. Before you lies an ornate and elaborately decorated doorway, a stone disc that has been rolled aside to unveil the hellish realm beyond. The caverns on the other side are bathed in a red glow. The serpent-themed statues and carvings along the walls inform you that you're on the right track.
Cool. So look at that. That was quick. That ended far more quickly than I expected it to. Some mistakes I made. I should have hit the Harbinger of Velusia. If it was going to hit us back either way, we had the exact same bonus. So that was a mistake. I made a couple of other, little mistakes. They didn't cost us the game, but they could have. So anyways, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 experience points, victory points. And 4 versus, vengeance points. And the Harbinger of Velusia has 8 damage on it. Could have been 9, but that's fine. So 8 damage. It's almost dead. I don't know if it surfaces one last time. I haven't gotten this far. But this is good. Cool.
Before you are able to cross into the next layer of the cavern, a sound like the click-clacking of claw catches you by surprise. Emerging from the darkness behind you are several alien creatures, the likes of which you have never seen. 10 feet tall, with conical bodies that end in 4 strange appendages of varying lengths. You are stunned to see a human figure standing at the head of the group, none other than Alejandro Villar.
Take their minds.
Alejandro commands the creatures.
We have no further use for them.
It is your last human memory.
Uh-oh. I wonder what's gonna happen next. We'll find out next week.